Hey everybody, welcome to another episode. I am Michael Petro, and joining me on the show are cast members and professional debaters, Martin Navarro and Rob Strachan. May the 4th be with you a week later. We couldn't gather pre, and we wanted to gather post May the 4th because we all wanted to talk about the Bad Batch and what our thoughts are on it, so we open with the show in that regard. Martin saves me and puts me back in to being more interested in this show. If I hadn't had Martin to explain to me some missing components to what goes on in the Clone Wars and Rebels, I may have said fuck it. So that's the first little bit of the show. We also do Mandolorian or Boba Fett. Who would you rather be trained by? We do some trivia. We talk about prequels versus sequels. Are you a Misa Jar Jar Binks fan, or do you like old curmudgeon-y Luke who, just doesn't give a shit about the Force anymore? Where do your allegiances lie with the new 6? Either the original 3 or the last 3, because we all know the first 3 are the best 3. And some other fun Star Wars stuff. It's a May the 4th be with you issue, episode, number, version, whatever. That's what it is today. So if that's not your cup of tea, I encourage you to go backwards a couple episodes and listen to some of our other stuff. Next week, actually in 2 days, you will be listening to Sharon Bayer, who is an intimacy coordinator from our hometown of Winnipeg. And I get to have an adult conversation with her and learn a thing or two about intimacy coordinators and the valued work that they are doing in the entertainment industry. So that's coming up, down, through the pipe, however physics happens. To all you people who've listened to the show before, you know what's about to come next. So get on with it. Press skip it. Just go buy some shit. That's all we ask. But to you new people who've pressed play for the first time, you've taken a chance on us, so we appreciate that. If you'd like to know more about us after this episode or any previous episode, if Star Wars is not your cup of tea, head to thereeldebaters.ca. That is where you can see all things about us, learn where you can subscribe to the show. Like I said, seeing us, you can see pictures. There's some cast bios there. We should update those. We've all grown up since then. We've got our merch stand. If you want to buy skateboards, stickers, T-shirts, whatnot, it's all there. To the first person who emails us a receipt for a Real Debaters skateboard, we will let you help produce an episode. That's directly from Rob Strachan's mouth. So you buy a skateboard, email us your receipt. You don't have to give us your details, just proof of purchase. I don't want to know who you are. I just want to converse with you over some dumb movie shit. And we'll let you pick the show. And then we'll make some rules around it, and then we'll let you dedicate it to somebody. How does that sound? First skateboard purchase goes to that. So that's the website, thereeldebaters.ca. If you want to email us, it's thereeldebaters@gmail.com. And if you want to follow us online, it is at Real Debaters. The spelling is all REEL. To all of our fans, we love you. We tell you all the time. But we like to tell you about the top 10 places that listen to the Real Debaters podcast, because they do some heavy lifting for us. They make people pay attention to us. So thank you to, let's go first. Let's go to our hometown, Winnipeg, followed up by Vancouver, Nanaimo, Toronto, and Richmond. Again, thank you to everybody in Canada. These are the top 5 places in Canada that say Real Debaters are awesome. And then to the top 5 in America: San Jose, Oakland, Cedar Grove, Ashburn, and Southington. You guys are the best. Martin loves you in San Jose. He's from California, so shout out to everybody in California. Besides that, I got nothing else for you. So I'll cue the reel, and you enjoy the show.
Let's tidy up this tangle of film by putting it on a reel. Here is a motion picture film, 1,000 feet, 16,000 separate photographs.
Welcome everybody to the official space section of the
The truth! You can't handle the truth!
Sir, you're out of order.
I show you out of order!
Let's get into the Star Wars, Mike.
Yeah, let's get into the Star Wars. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another Real Debaters production. I am joined by Martin Navarro and Rob Strachan, both cast members of the show. Say hello, Rob.
Heyo.
Say hello, Martin.
Hello, Martin.
Fucking asshole.
I had to. No, Rob didn't say it, so I had to say it. It's there.
Set you fuckers up.
Hey,
anyways,
now.
it is 2 days after. We have to date stamp this one because it's very specific to what happened this week. But it is 2 days following May the 4th, annual Star Wars Day. We tried to do one of these last year, and we were still new, so I don't think it's going to have the same je ne sais quoi as it does today. We also didn't have Rob then, Martin, so... but it was May the 4th. Not a lot of big things were really released. I was online whenever I had a moment to kind of follow shit. I downloaded the Star Wars app to stay included in everything, and nothing really came out except what we all watched. So that's where we're going to fucking start. I said to Martin, well, we should probably talk about the Bad Batch, and Martin was like, yes, we should. And then I was like, when is it airing? And he was like, May the 4th. And I was like, that makes fucking sense.
Obviously.
Obviously, that's launch day. So May the 4th, that night, I watched it. Didn't really get into too much of it. I was just like, okay, I'm going to prime up for this. I'm going to take the next 2 days and slowly get into it. So last night, I put my phone down, paid attention to it, and I'll go first because I feel that I will be the the stormtrooper in the room, so to speak, of my taste of it. Now, did I like the animation? I love the animation. I didn't watch Clone Wars, and I plan to now that what I've seen, but I'd always kind of seen Clone Wars in the background and been like, it's a different take. It's not rounded edges, right? It's very artistic.
Angular.
Thank you. You can take a protractor to this fucking cartoon show and measure perfect mathematical angles. But it was interesting. And I knew
your nose is congruent with your neck.
So I was like, all right. And I knew it came from the Clone Wars because I knew it had Anakin and Obi-Wan in it, carrying on from the Clone Wars movie. That's about as much as I knew. So the little intro that they did was nice for me because I was like, okay, this is where we are in the timeline. This is where we're catching up. Did I like the animation? Like I said, yes. Do I think the story's great? Well, I don't have enough information on the story, which is maybe where you two can sway me back because as I sit right now, I've watched almost all of it. It was a little long for a cartoon by comparable to what we've been jerking off for the last 2 weeks, which is Invincible, where you were just like violated.
It was a little long?
I felt
it was an hour and 14 minutes.
I felt that was long for Now, this is...
I think they're going to be doing 30-minute episode releases,
yeah,
though.
This is,
That's
okay.
just the first episode, but it's supposed to be 30.
So, all right, so the pilot was obviously 2 episodes wrapped into one.
They had to develop the characters and make you care.
All right.
Create the nemesis.
My only other... And this
and
only...
you didn't watch the last 15 minutes, right?
No, I didn't. I haven't yet.
See? So
Yeah.
you missed the nemesis.
Okay. But what I do love, let's start there. Let's go up before we go down. I do love that these are fucked up stormtroopers who have a little bit of a crossed wire, and that's like
they're kind of badass.
They're kind of badass, but they don't fall in line. I thought that was cool.
They're like the tank girl of stormtroopers.
Yeah, and then to play on Bad Batch, right? They're a bad batch of stormtroopers.
Totally.
I loved Order 66. I love seeing Palpatine.
Yeah.
Those were all really cool things. So it's kind of like going back through the story in an animated way instead of going through, those movies in the beginning that a lot of people are only talking about. So those were all great things. But for somebody who doesn't have the Clone Wars, which, Rob, you say you're going to watch now, and Martin, I know you've watched.
I also have not watched the Clone Wars. It's always been on my to-do list or watch list, and it's just there's always something else that's come up, and it's always been back burner. But now after seeing this, it really has kind of whet my palate for more Star Wars.
Okay, so then we'll start there with you. I haven't seen enough, so I am going into this going, will I tune in? Do I need to watch? How much Clone Wars do I need to watch? Do I need to do a supercut? All these things are kind of keeping me from...
I don't think you need to have seen Clone Wars. I think you just need to have seen the 9 Star Wars movies and obviously Solo and Rogue One. So you're fucking...
Check.
Right?
Check. Yeah.
And you need to have seen the really bad Ewoks movies from the 80s.
Oh, double check.
Okay, perfect.
That's on Disney Plus now.
And,
it's called Star Wars Retro.
And you also have to remember watching the Droids cartoon on Saturday mornings.
That's where I start to get a little hazy, but I remember vaguely. I remember.
Then you're good, bro. You're good.
Okay,
And
I'm fine.
You can jump in on Clone Wars after.
I felt like my Star Wars dick was being measured by how much I didn't know. I felt a little inadequate last night sitting here in the dark.
Yeah, but you know what? It's no different than when you're like, I love Star Wars. Have I read lots of Star Wars novels? No, I've only read the original trilogy novels, and I've read one bounty hunter fucking novel. That's a series of bounty hunter short stories, which is cool, right? That's all I've ever read. But you talk to some people that have read massive amounts of both fan fiction and the actual sanctioned books. They know all these small intricacies. They've played every single one of the video games, all the Dark Forces games, all that kind of good stuff. And their knowledge is so extensive that I'm just like bowing to like the knowledge that some of these people have.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. Like they are going deep with this. So okay. So
but at the end of the day, the one thing I love to debate is the fucking original trilogy. I'll talk that shit all day.
and that we are headed there very shortly.
Absolutely.
So okay, so as a person like me who hasn't seen the Clone Wars, and then we'll get Martin to wrap it up so he can educate the two of us on our missing.
Absolutely,
our missing
he's
shit
the
here.
Clone Wars expert here.
He is like, and the only reason I'm watching this is because Martin Sweet talked me into animation. Without his fucking magic voice in my ear, I'd still be watching live action shit. So, anyway, so
Watch
Rob,
more cartoons.
what was your take? Because you've seen all of it. So what was your take on the Bad Batch, where it's going?
I thought it was great.
Yeah,
I love how it's it's a unique spin on stormtroopers. They're kind of almost like a special forces kind of crew, as opposed to the conventional here we come, and like bumbling idiots that are bad with blaster aim and shit like that.
have no fucking aim.
And but it was something outside of the norm, and you know what? It's something that I always felt was kind of missing, because it seemed like why didn't this exist previous? And I like the fact that they were like genetic rejects, right? But it's almost like they were like, okay, here's what we do regularly, but let's try some special stuff now. And 5 of them worked out being awesome, and thus or 4, and then obviously you have one reg that has the extra tech added to them. For the original crew, and then obviously, if you've seen the end, you know that who the 5th special person or the 5th Bad Batch.
You can
is.
ruin it for me. It's not going to be
okay.
I'll watch it.
But I just liked it, and I like that they're a little rebellious, and they're down with the Republic, right, and toeing the line with that. But then it becomes the Empire, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, we got some morals, man, and they rebel up, and it's like them basically gonna be joining the Rebel Alliance, and that's dope.
That is dope, because it's like you said.
Are we allowed
like,
to say dope still? Is that
dopest?
Dope. Yeah.
Dopest. Yeah.
So
Will
dope.
Gen Z still respect me for that?
I don't think they listen, so we're okay. We're okay. We're talking about movies that are classics to them. That's Inception to them is like Turner Classic Movies. Martin, okay, so
they're like Turner Classic Movies. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, what the fuck is that too? Yeah, right. No shit.
Is that even around still?
No. Well, it is.
Maybe. Right?
Probably in the United States.
You can it's
on DirecTV.
Yeah, that's where it's a channel. It's a channel somewhere.
Yeah, just call it fucking TBS. Like, come on, don't change that shit.
No kidding. Based in Georgia, it's a peach tree. Martin, okay, so for two guys who have thus of an opinion, and we're going to go around the room on some other things that are coming out of my brain here, but first of all, fill us in with what we're missing so you can sell me on coming back to it, because I'm like, I'll get to it now. I'm like Jimmy with WandaVision. Yeah.
So here's the thing that the Star Wars shows, especially Clone Wars, did really well. They link all the universes together. That's if you watch Clone Wars and if you watch Star Wars Rebels, you'll get the Mandalorian. You'll get all the references from the Mandalorian more. You'll see all the characters that have been on the Mandalorian. Like it's what Disney is doing right now is that they fucked up on the recent trilogy. They admit you fucked up, cool. But one thing that Star Wars has always been doing well is TV shows like Clone Wars. It's always been the best product that they've. I think it's been the best Star Wars product since the original trilogy.
Wow.
Clone Wars.
Well, it's also because it's got so much fucking Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's so wicked.
Is it because it's for them to branch off, right? Because you had the original trilogy, our trilogy. Then you had the prequels. And then after the prequels, this is not directly after, but in chronological order, you've got the building of because it's 7 seasons, Clone Wars, right?
Yeah.
It's not
7 seasons?
Yeah, you can't just walk through this.
Damn it, I thought I could watch it in a
There's
weekend.
a couple episodes you could skip through. There's a couple C-3PO episodes that are just all right. And Jar Jar Binks episodes are you could just fast forward those ones and just skip over. But what the Clone Wars
the droids
does
I'm looking for.
It really makes you fall in love with the characters, especially Anakin, just because you see his descent into darkness more prominently because you're given a lot more time to see it.
That's
what a lot of things in it.
Okay, you're working me back here. You're twisting my fucking arm because I'm rooted in that. So to get more to branch out from 4, 5, and 6 instead of going deep in the universe way before or way in the future. I'm when they finally admitted in Mandalorian it was only 5 years after Return of the Jedi. I was like, sweet, this is some continuation. This is some what if shit that we've all played. And then now knowing that this is right before the fall of everything and the start of 4 and
Don't
time.
ruin Mando season 2 for me, please.
I won't. No.
I still haven't had a chance to watch it.
Well,
I'll tell you guys this. So look what Marvel has done with the MCU. That's what Star Wars is doing now. with Disney back at the helm. With
Okay.
Clone Wars, with Bad Batch, with Mandalorian, with all the movies coming out, everything coming out, that they're getting the MCU treatment. You don't have to watch the Clone Wars, but if you want to get everything down the line and see everything where the show could potentially go, that's why you watch it. I mean, you don't have to watch every Marvel movie, but if you want to watch, it's good to watch every Marvel movie before like the Avengers.
Like, you don't have to watch the Star Wars Christmas special, but you should.
Like, I don't know if you guys know, but like the Jedi at the very opening scene is a huge, huge reveal, and that was a huge point in the Star Wars show because like it's basically a main point. If you watch so watch Clone Wars, then watch Star Wars Rebels because I thought Rebels was amazing too because I mean. You get more Ahsoka. Ahsoka's in it. She's the Rosario Dawson character in the so, and she has her own show coming out. So I mean, if you want to really watch Clone Wars, then watch Rebels, and like that Jedi in the opening scene was a huge character in Star Wars Rebels.
All right,
so that's why you're just like watching, like, oh shit, that's how that happened. That's how he survived Order 66.
Did you have any issues with the Padawan though? His voice was way too deep. Freddie
For
Prinze.
his age?
I wasn't a big fan.
I
of
was a
Freddie
little
Prinze.
thrown.
I wasn't a big fan of Freddie Prinze Jr. as the casting.
Not a big
of the voice.
Fran.
Not a big
Fran
Fran.
or Freddie.
I'm gonna say it. He is a main character in the Rebels series, and he's a great character in the
I'm
Rebels
sure
series.
he is, but I don't know what it was. It's just the voice didn't suit that character.
Yeah, he's older.
I'll
He
get-
should have been a child, right? He's still a child.
I'll
Yes.
get used to it.
I don't know if I will.
It's like his balls dropped early.
Yes.
Like his
Agreed.
character that he plays, like Caleb, is an amazing. Like it's really good in Rebels. It's one of the best.
So he's like a badass fucking Jedi in that. Okay.
I won't spoil Rebels, but
Yeah.
Rebels basically what happens is it takes place pretty much right before Episode 4. So
Okay.
Luke and Leia are probably still like maybe 12 years old, 11 years old.
Okay.
So it's
So
the story of what happened.
They're drinking
to Jedi
blue milk.
Uncle Owen,
Uncle Owen,
Aunt Merlot.
fix the evaporators.
I was going to go to
get converted to Tashi's. There it is.
I just want to say one thing though, Martin. You said that like 7, 8, 9 aren't great. Arguably, though, the best thing to come out of 7, 8, 9 is Matt, the radar technician, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yes, Kylo Ren shredded was the best thing to come out of that. I think too.
Do you think Kylo Ren can take over the universe?
So I
Do you
just
think
wanted
Kylo
to
Ren
bring
is
up
up to the
something that
task?
Rob said in the Bad Batch. So this is the thing about clones. Clones aren't stormtroopers. They're different.
Oh, I know
They're clone troopers, and
That's
the
true.
clones
That's
can
true. My
shoot.
bad.
This is why, like, if you looked in the episode when Tarkin was like saying, "Well, we don't need your clones; they're expensive. We can just fill the bodies with conscription units." And
Yeah.
you're
Yes,
like,
yeah.
That's what happens with stormtroopers. They can't
Yeah.
shoot because the clone troopers are gone, right?
It's true.
So they just fill them with conscription units, and this is why they can't shoot. That just explains that plot hole of why stormtroopers can't shoot because they're conscripted. They're not soldiers. They're not bred for combat like clone troopers are.
He got a little stingy with the pocket change and sent the shitty stormtroopers.
That's why they can't hit anything.
Oh, okay. You came charging in with that opening sequence with the Jedi that I don't know any, but and deep voice Jedi, deep voice
Padawan.
deep voice Padawan, DVP.
Caleb.
What is so crucial to that? Because I'm sure there's other people out there like me who don't know anything, and they're like, I might take a look at this. So, what is so crucial about? Because that Jedi. I mean, it's 48 hours, so spoiler alert. But like that Jedi agrees to go off with the Bad Batch and let Caleb go, and then all of a sudden, is that when Order 66 kind of gets called? Because that's when everybody turns the guns on the Jedi, and then Caleb's like, no.
Yeah, that was Order 66. That's when the Bad Batch takes place. It takes place right at the start of Order 66, and the Jedi that gets away. He's one of the main characters in Rebels, and you see how he survives Order 66. It's just huge. You're like, how did that ever happen? How did he survive? Like, because you always wonder, there's still Jedi out there in the Star Wars universe, and you don't know how they survive. Like, how do you survive when like an entire army of stormtroopers are around and they're just shooting you?
Oh, so this is like a prequel for you because you've already seen him when he's gotten older.
Yeah, this is
Rebels is after this.
Yeah. I'm just putting that together, but his deep voice.
Rebels
is
is like 10 years later.
Bad Batch is between Clone Wars and Rebels.
Why couldn't they just do this in order?
Because they
They
like to. It's like watching a fucking Nolan movie.
I know.
Pay attention.
I'm caught up in it. I'm just saying.
Pay attention.
Sometimes it's like trying to figure out Lost.
What was
I think
what was the name of their
one
squad?
of the things-
They were Squad 99, right? They were Squad 99?
They were Clone Force 99. They're like
Clone
special.
Force 99. I
Let's-
like how that's reciprocal of Order 66.
Yeah, no, let's talk about that for a second. Clone Force 99 sounds like a band from the 80s or
a Wayne Gretzky something or other.
yeah, like it's I was like Clone Force 99 doesn't make me feel like a Bad Batch is running around the corner. I'm like they could have maybe like the Bad Batch is the most clever part of it cuz they're a bad batch of clones. Which like that's the other
The reason
Go ahead.
I'll
Go
just
ahead.
say the reason why they're called Clone Force 99 is because every clone trooper is given like a designation, like CT-1506. So that's their
copy?
designation. So everyone in Clone Force 99 has the designation CT-99 ...
Okay.
Other numbers. So they're start 99 ...
See,
So they're always 9903 or 9904, 9905. That's why they're called Clone Force 99.
do you just have to talk about it with somebody and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm going to go back to it.
But they're unique enough to have nicknames.
Yeah, and that's the thing I like about the Clone Wars is, they're all clones of Jango Fett, but they all have their own kind of personalities, even though they are clones, and that's what the Clone Wars brings out with all the different, clone troopers, which is really cool.
Can I
Is that
ask
nurture versus nature?
Yeah.
Okay, Darwin. We have Charles in the corner over here contemplating life and the universe and everything in it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not like evolutionary biology? You don't like all the things that have come forth from it?
Yeah, I like everything that comes.
Okay. Well played.
Well played. I was going to ask you a question, Martin, and I totally got all dirty there for a second. Oh yeah, okay. I heard Django. Did I hear Django correctly? Like, are they still doing that thing where I bang the keyboard with the mouse cord? No, where they do that thing where everybody sounds like him. So that's like another little like nod back to Clone Wars, back to the Attack of the Clones.
It's the same voice for all of them.
That's
right?
really cool that they didn't change that. Those are the little when you say Marvel treatment, that's the shit that they're giving that you
Why do
notice
they all
and pick
have
up.
a Kiwi accent, though?
Yeah, answer that
I
one.
don't know. Maybe Mandalore has a New Zealand kind of vibe to it. I don't know.
All of our listeners in New Zealand, please comment.
I would like to ask for an idea. Like, who do we like so far? We've got the explosive guy, team leader, who's
You got
the-
Wrecker, you got
yeah.
Hunter, you got Crosshair, and then you got Tech, and then Echo.
Why I should have watched it more than once.
I've seen the series. So the Bad Batch, I'll just give you a little background. This isn't their first introduction to the Star Wars universe.
Okay.
They were previously in the last season of the Clone Wars, which is where you get introduced to them. And because they were so popular, they got their own Star Wars spin-off.
Oh, they got their spin-off.
Oh, so you've seen these characters before?
Yeah.
Okay, so
And Echo is a main character, or I guess he's one of the main clone troopers in the Clone War universe, the Clone Wars.
all right. I appreciate this because there's A, too much shit to keep up with, and B, I mean, after walking away from
Echo.
So I get a little background. Echo is part of his clone trooper detachment was the 501st, which was under the command of General Anakin Skywalker.
Echo is a guy?
One of the clone troopers. He's the mechanical guy. The clone trooper is like a robot.
Yeah, who got into an accident,
Oh, okay.
and then they put him back together. But you know,
what's the little girl's name?
Omega.
Omega. Thank you.
Omega, isn't it Omega?
Omega.
It's
Omega.
I think it's with an accent. She says it with a really hard accent, so it's Omega.
I think she's South African. Omega. That's
Omega.
A bad South African. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, everyone in District 9 is upset with you.
No kidding. Charlotte Coldplay's just shitting on me. I really
Just don't say prawns.
Prunes.
Guys, we got to keep it in the universe we're talking
Sorry,
about. Okay?
back
Okay.
to a galaxy
All
far,
right,
far
keep
away.
Elfie out of this.
I like Wrecker, the guy who likes to blow shit up. I was attracted
dude.
to him. He was funny.
Because he's
I feel like
dumb and full of cum.
No. Are you saying?
if you're
what
in a
saying?
party with someone, Wrecker would be the guy to do a keg stand with, you know?
Yeah, no, he's the fun
yeah.
guy. He's the guy that makes an opening where there isn't an opening, and he's definitely essential to the team. I like their special skills. What's with Sniper? What's with the sniper
Crosshair?
guy? Crosshair. Like what's
Crosshair.
his damage? Because I think is he double agent?
So I'll say this again.
You
This
didn't
is
watch
in the
you
Clone
you
Wars.
missed the last 20 minutes.
I'm okay. So I missed the third act. Big fucking deal. But like
So in the Clone Wars, right? So I think they touched it in the show. They said they gave them kind of inhibitor chips to make them more
No, the mutation
non-questionable to orders.
The mutation, caused the chips to malfunction or something, right?
Yeah.
I caught that. I just didn't
But
understand.
for whatever reason, his mutation didn't block it fully.
Yeah.
So he still was still wanting to follow the orders, where the other guys were like, "Fuck this," and
and that's why he was like, "Why are we going against them?" And then because I was like, "Why is this guy flipping and flopping?"
So we're gonna ruin the rest of the show for you.
That's fine.
They basically enhance this back, right? So that he will follow orders.
Oh, so they turn it up to the right level.
And then he becomes fucking bad, and he's their new nemesis.
Oh, so Crosshair's nemesis.
Crosshair's now the bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
He's the antagonist, as you would say in the literary term.
Oh,
the opposite of the protagonist.
Okay, so we were talking about problems with voices earlier. Freddie Prinze Jr. I mean, whatever.
I'm okay with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Don't you think though?
She's all that.
She is.
Honestly, I was questionable at first with it when I first saw him in Star Wars Rebels, but after a while, you're just like, he's actually pretty good in Star Wars Rebels.
I think it was just his voice was so deep for like the Padawan seeming so young. I was kind of like, what?
It felt like Robert Downey Jr. in The Irishman. Not Downey Jr., Robert De Niro in The Irishman. Fucking cameo that nobody saw.
Fuck, that would have made The Irishman maybe more enjoyable.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't have, but like there's...
They would have had to do less CGI to make them look young.
Sorry, we're kind of staying in the same vein here because they're talking about the new Indiana Jones and how they're gonna use the same thing they did with The Irishman. Where they're gonna maybe not de-age him so much, but like then it'll just be like watching a fairly young person kick like an old man.
just de-age him to like I'm okay with him being like 80 years old and kicking ass. The only problem is that in the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, they showcased him at around 80 years old and he looked like fucking ancient, and Harrison Ford doesn't.
Harrison Ford can
So the continuity police are going to be like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. Script continuity be like, we can't without CGI. Anyways, back to a galaxy far, far away. So Freddie Prinze Jr., yeah, I just, maybe being an outsider, I mean, you've seen him before, Martin, so you can appreciate it. You give it a little bit more grace, but like...
You've heard him before.
You've heard him before, but you've heard him at an older age, where me and Rob have been like, we're introduced to this 9-year-old who sounds like Barry White.
I don't think he was 9. He looks like he's like 13 or 14.
How old is he supposed to be?
He's probably 13, 14 maybe.
Okay,
because
that's how old Padawans
probably in his 20s in the show of Rebels. I think it's like 10 years later.
Okay,
I think the problem is that we always think of like Anakin as a Padawan, but Anakin was like a little bit older, right? Typically,
he was an older Padawan. Yes,
because they usually like to start around 5, and he was like what 11.
Yeah, and in Attack of the Clones, he should have been a Jedi Knight by that time, but since he was late to the game, he was still a Padawan when he was like,
and he was a little bit angry
with the anger management issues.
Oh, here's some children we need to slaughter.
Someone should have got him a stress ball.
Is it like one guy who's doing the majority of...
That's the guy who does all the clone trooper voices. He's the same dude.
So you're telling me that D. Bradley Baker is the guy who does all the voices for the Bad Batch cast? Like one guy?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
It's all one guy. All the clones are the same voice.
Why is that so crazy?
I'm just impressed by that because...
Well, think about Dan Castellaneta that does the Homer. He does like...
Oh, yeah. And what's his face?
Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria. Like all of the voice... Family Guy. This is Dick.
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane.
Have you actually ever seen him in live action?
Yes.
Go between Peter, Stewie, and then back to his voice, which is Brian.
Yep.
He did a special one time where he actually sang songs in live action. It was fucking amazing.
No, I'm impressed that this one guy's doing this because I mean, when you're reading a script, I imagine
it's like the guy that does the voice of Fry in Futurama. Billy, what's his face?
Billy West.
Billy West. He's super fucking talented with voices too.
Or John DiMaggio.
To any of you voice actors out there, if you're interested in talking about your career, we would love to ask you all the annoying questions you've probably been asked 100 times.
Yes.
So get at me. Email us, thereeldebaters@gmail.com. All right. Well, that's because I'm like, I was just sitting here looking through all the names, and I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, where's the Bad Batch troopers? But it's one dude. That's crazy.
Does he get paid 5 times salary?
I would think he probably gets paid, each voice.
Oh, that's cool.
Probably for the union.
Yeah, well,
X
how
amount of
does the SAG contract work with that?
Yeah, I
I
would
don't know.
imagine that based on how many lines each character has, at one point you have to be considered a character instead of a background character, and then based on that scale, you're paid a lot more as doing 5. Like it makes itself up in the end. He probably gets a bigger
Yeah.
paycheck for covering it as opposed to getting paid for each. They're like, if we were to give you 500,000 per, we'll give you 25,000, 30,000, 35,000, right? Whatever, an episode. And carry on. I don't know. I'm making shit up here.
It's like $500,000 an episode for the Bad Batch, man. I don't think the budget's that big.
No, I'm grossly
This
over
isn't fucking
exaggerating.
Friends.
This is fucking 2.5 Men. Charlie, when he walked, I think he was at $1.8 an episode.
It's crazy.
Jesus.
That's nuts money. Where do you think they're going to take this, Martin?
Winning.
Knowing what you know, where do you think the story's headed?
I think what the story is for the Bad Batch is, it's going to give us a story of what the hell happened to all the clones. Because, but there's a big gap for people who didn't watch any of the series. So between episode 3 and then episode 4, you're like, well, where did all the clones go? What's going to happen to them? I think this is what we're going to get. You're probably
Do you
going to
think
see
we'll
a
find
lot
out
of...
the origins, maybe like a little bit more stuff about Boba?
I think we might see some characters from the different universes we've seen or different Star Wars shows that we've seen throughout the years that have been developed. You'll probably see some of them make an appearance on the Bad Batch as well. So I think that's what we're in for. We're in for a good season. I like the Bad Batch. I think they're great. I'm glad they got their own series, and tune in. It's going to be a good season.
Watch that shit.
Yeah, no, I'll go back to it.
And
I'll
don't be
finish it
like
off.
Mike and watch the whole thing in one sitting. Be committed to the hour and 16 minutes.
I was.
This is why your lightsaber's bendy.
What? Hey,
Because your connection to the Force is weak.
Mhm.
what the?
Non-committal.
So do I need some blue milk?
You need some blue
everyone
milk, my
does,
friend.
all the
You need
time.
some Jawa juice or something.
Yeah. Need some power converters.
Oh shit! All right, so
Always shoot
okay.
first.
All right, hey, send us.
Always shoot first.
Get on the when this episode, when you're listening to this, guys, it's going to be on the website. The website allows for comments, so tell us your thoughts on the Bad Batch so far, and put it in the comments section. And
We forgot to say spoiler alert.
yeah, no, I did. Well, whatever. I can put. Fuck, we'll fix. That's so easy. All right. Well, moving on here. I don't want to beat a dead horse. So let's.
So are we all in agreement that the Bad Batch was good?
Yes, I'm not saying it wasn't good. I'm just saying I was lacking knowledge to enjoy it as much as Invincible. But I also don't have any knowledge of Invincible.
I still can't believe you think an hour 14 is too long for a cartoon. That actually offends me.
I'm sorry if that does.
Like, you can't watch Akira in one sitting?
I don't think he's ever seen Akira.
No, I haven't seen Akira.
Get out.
Get out of your own house. See that door? Leave it. Get out. Fuck, where's my juice? Where's my?
Well, I think you got to realize too, Mike. Invincible. The way they did Invincible is they did it because it's a standalone series, right? That's the first exposure we get to that universe. Whereas in Bad Batch, a lot of the people who
Touche.
created it assumes that most people have probably seen the Clone Wars or
Okay.
have probably seen Rebels, so they know these characters, and that's probably what they had in mind when they did it. But they did it in a way that you don't have to watch that to get
The first
Bad
episode
Batch.
of Invincible was over 50 minutes, so
But
the first
see,
episode's
what I'm-
long.
yeah.
And some of the episodes were 35, some were 43, and that's one reason I like Invincible is that they're not required to do the set amount of time. It's like each episode must be 39 minutes long.
Yeah, they're not covered by
I
sponsors.
hate that shit. I like it when the story arc requires X amount of time, so therefore the episode will be that.
I think The Mandalorian was the same way, right? The Mandalorian wasn't all 50-minute episodes. They all had their varying
Absolutely.
between 45 to an hour,
And
right?
honestly,
They just,
Game of Thrones
whatever.
in the last couple
Yeah.
seasons was similar, and I feel like that's becoming more of a commonality with especially the stream shows. It's just HBO that's still very stringent on that kind of format of kind of that 58 minutes or.
They swing from 58 to 62.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of that carryover, but I think we'll probably see more change with that in the future.
Yeah.
as they have to adapt more to especially now with HBO Max, right?
the world of streaming. Get on or be left fucking behind and be the next blockbuster.
Well, my only issue though with the streaming is it's starting to get to the point where it's like I'm gonna have to subscribe to 8 streaming services.
And then it's cable all over again.
Yeah, we're back to cable
but better.
with ads.
With that, yeah, right. Like you only got to wait. You couldn't outrun it for too long. You could get ahead of the commercials, but you just couldn't. They're just too damn fast.
Well, I think what's going to end up happening too is I think Netflix is going to continue to get a little bit more expensive, and then there's actually going to be 3 versions of Netflix. There's going to be a free version where you have tons of ads. There's going to be a Netflix Lite where you watch a little bit of ads, and then there'll be the premium Netflix where you're like, I'm a baller, I don't listen to ads.
Yeah, it's the YouTube model.
So Netflix middle class is the one I'm gonna get.
No, Martin,
You're not going to get Netflix Coach. You're going to get Netflix Premium Economy, and then,
Yeah,
and then as opposed to Netflix First
I get the
Class.
little, I get the a little bit of the thing on the back of the seat, the little towel or whatever.
I get a little bit more leg room and a little bit more width, but I don't get to lay flat.
And I get 1 free beverage with my flight.
It depends if it's international or not.
I just want to comment on what you said, Martin. You are right. They wrote it for assuming you had seen a lot of this. So
I disagree.
No, you.
I disagree.
It took me like 20 minutes
I
to
have
like
not, I've
get
not
caught
seen
by it.
Clone Wars. Like I said, I've really only seen the movies. I haven't seen Clone Wars. I haven't seen Rebels, and I disagree. I mean, I think knowing the Star Wars universe is important. Knowing the context of kind of the timeline, but watching episodes 1 to 6, you understand that timeline.
You do,
right?
yeah.
And I think the episode was long enough that it gave me development of all those Bad Batch characters. Introduced the, it had Admiral
Tarkin.
Tarkin. Thank you.
Yeah,
I was
Grand Moff Tarkin out of
right?
nowhere.
And
Once again, in the Clone Wars.
But that's why the episode had to be an hour and 15, because it had to develop the characters and set up the rest of the season with your with your badass.
So I just want to clarify with what I said. I said they wrote it for assuming that you've seen the Bad Batch, but you didn't have to watch it to enjoy the Bad Batch, is what I said.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, you don't have to watch Clone Wars to enjoy the show, but a lot of the stuff that they put in, a lot of the references, they wrote that because they assume a lot of the audience has already seen all the previous. And it's all Dave Filoni stuff, right? Like he's the one who's been steering the ship since the Clone Wars started.
My wife would hate it because she hasn't watched any Star Wars. My mom would be okay with it because she's seen the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, my stepdad could get down with it too. He'd be like, "Oh, all right." I think he actually is watching Clone Wars, believe it or not. Moving on, gentlemen. Moving on. Martin has won. I will go back to it after we're done this, and I will watch it. I will watch it in full with my eyes open like Clockwork Orange.
Were you tired?
Yeah, I think that, and I'd been doing some shit for the
Did you
show.
eat too many carb-laden snacks?
Oh yeah, I
early
had a pocket and I had a piece of pizza. So I had an open,
Wow.
like a
Before we move on, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
So remember in Rogue One, when that girl, I forget what her name is, the main character, she goes to that planet and visits the guy who Forrest Whitaker plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
The guy they meet in the jungle, that's the character. That's Forrest Whitaker character in Rogue One.
Oh.
The Resistance fighter, that's him.
Interesting.
So that's the references you get if you like when you watch the other.
Oh, okay,
series,
so that's
right?
before.
So they bring Rogue One.
So that's
into it,
essentially before he had to have all his augmentations.
Yeah.
It is.
And he's a huge character. He's also in. I don't know if you guys played any of the games. He's also in. Is it the new Star Wars game Fallen Order on like Xbox One and PS4?
Dude, I played Dark Forces and Dark Forces 2. That's it. So what
those
is that?
aren't canon anymore. I'm sad about that.
What are those in the 90s?
Yeah.
On Sega?
Anyways, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. So
those are PC, motherfucker.
The conversation can now be had, and I figured it was one that we could have here. Nice little this or that. Would you rather? If you will.
Sidious Crumb or
no. What feels better? The prequels or the sequels, Rob?
what feels better?
What feels better?
Or what
now?
are better?
Well, both.
This is such a hard one. Okay, so I know a lot of people didn't like the sequels. I did like episode 7, even though it's almost like a it's almost cookie cutter to
Episode
a new
4 on
New
steroids.
Hope. But I think that's what I needed because after the prequels, I just needed like a newer CGI driven with good story kind of thing. I also really liked episode 7 because fucking Han Solo was in it. And like I love Han Solo. But for all the shit that the prequels get, and let's be honest, I mean, the main reason the prequels sucked is it was all bad casting for Anakin in both movies, in my personal opinion.
It does drag a lot down.
And then the fact that it was, you know, bacteria that actually caused the Force and like all this kind of stuff. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, don't give us that.
Midichlorians.
Yeah, metachlorians. Thank you. I couldn't remember. I was brain farting. You know,
It's some Star Wars I can talk about now.
The pod race the pod race was pretty cool.
Pod race is bad.
It did
I love the
spawn
pod race.
a fucking stellar Super Nintendo fucking game, an N64 game. The last battle, the last fight scene at the end of Episode 1 is fucking epic.
Duel of the Fates.
Like when he when the double lightsaber came on, and just like that battle with like fuck Liam Neeson's so fucking good at the end.
Qui-Gon
And
Jinn.
I like Kylo Ren, even though like decide where his fucking scar is. Thank you very much, but Obi-Wan is the fucking shit. Just true and simple. But the reality is, Episode 2 and 3, I like them. I just didn't care about them that much. I don't know what it is. Like, I've seen them multiple times, and I still don't remember them that well. It's like it all blends together, and after a while, it's just like, oh, they're fighting more droids. I don't know what it is. It's like the fighting of the robot droid armies is not as endearing to me as beating stormtroopers. I don't know what it is. Maybe it has to do with when I watched it. And even though there's Jar Jar and all that other fucking bullshit, I don't know. I'm very, very torn on which one's better, but I think I'm going to have to go with originals.
So
watch the originals.
That's not. Are you okay? Sure. That's not an answer. Just watch the originals, not the
Honestly,
prequels or the sequels. Gotta pick. Live or die. I'll stick my curved lightsaber down your throat if you don't answer in 5 seconds.
Sequels made me more happy when I watched them.
That's a lot. That's why.
I think it was because there was nostalgia to the original.
Yeah,
and you get to see and I love that Luke comes back, and I love that Mark Hamill gets to be in a fucking movie again that isn't Sushi Girl or isn't fucking Joker's voice.
That it has his face in it.
Yeah. I love Harrison Ford reprising fucking Han Solo. And fucking Princess Leia, was Admiral Akbar in one of them? I can't remember.
He was in the first one,
Episode 7. That's right. Yeah.
It's gonna crash.
They should have somehow put "It's a Trap" in there. Just
it's a trap.
Just for nostalgia.
First or second, he dies, doesn't he? He dies in either the first or the second one. I think it might be the second one. He dies.
He
like
does.
at the very beginning when the bridge gets blown up. He's one of the guys that gets sucked out.
If he dies, he dies. Little Rocky 4.
That was another part that the sequels were better, but only 7 and 9. I really didn't like 8.
8's a hard take, man. I'll go next here, and then we'll toss it off. I'll toss it in Martin's mouth.
The degradation of Finn's character in 8 is still a sore spot for me.
I'll pass. I'll pass. Hard pressed, gun to my head.
Hard pressed gun to your head. Ooh.
Like where do my allegiances lie here? They will lie with 1, 2, and 3.
Why?
And it's a little bit. It's like you. I'll tell you how it makes me feel and what I like about it. So, how it makes me feel is I remember in the parking lot of Silver City at St. Vital.
How old were you then? 12?
No, I was in junior high. I was in high school. I was coming out of high school. I was like 16 or 17.
Okay.
Because I graduated in 2000. That was like 97, 98.
Okay, that makes sense because I was 19 when I saw the first one.
Yeah. So I remember the parking lot. I remember spending the night. I remember throwing frisbees around with Chewbacca. I remember stormtroopers. I remember a Mecca. I remember a pilgrimage of fan people.
Don't you remember being let down though after watching it?
I was so enthralled by getting the lightning in the bottle that came from the original 3 that it was like a resurgence of it at the time, right? In my youth at the time, I was like, yes, Star Wars is now mine instead of, like it was ours as kids, but now it's like ours when we're aware and we're young adults. And it's
the re-release in 96, 95, 96 didn't do that for you?
I mean, I have it. I think I still have it on VHS. And I mean, wasn't that...
Like when they re-released them in the theaters with the extra stuff.
Yeah, no, with the new CGI?
Well,
is that what you're talking about?
The new CGI and Han Solo stepping on Jabba's tail, which needs to be deleted forever. Fuck you, George Lucas.
I mean, it was fun because it was in the theater, but it wasn't being created at the time, and that's what I like. I like the timestamp of.
Truth. I get it.
So, as for the story itself, I mean, you had nothing to compare it to, right? Like we have now. Like you were new Star Wars and you were just like, okay, unzip the fly and, down on your knees. You would take it, right? Like you just say, okay. And so you don't, I didn't question much. I didn't really look at it, but looking back at it with like a somewhat critical, experienced eye now, I really like Attack of the Clones. That's my favorite of the three. Only because it tied in a lot more of what was going on in 4, 5, and 6. You figured out how the stormtroopers came to be, right? Like you started to see forward into where they were ramping.
Is it because you like Christopher Lee?
Yeah, I'm okay with him. I mean, like Lord of the Rings over Star Wars, but like Sauron. Yeah, it's always Sauron.
Sauron, Solomon, I don't know, I can't remember. Starts with an S, has lots of syllables.
Susan? So those are that's why I think it's because there was more story where in the first one you were just like, okay, so Annie's a baby. I'm like, yes, it's nice to see that, but I wanted to see the downfall of Anakin to the dark side, right? And that's where Attack of the Clones starts. So I like them.
I think it's because you like Senator Jar Jar.
Misa don't like Jar Jar at all. Misa think Jar Jar waste of fucking screen time. That's Yoda and Jar Jar. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel bad for the guy. There is the story that he almost killed himself because he was so ill received. Like the guy who played Jar Jar just like felt like wanted to crawl into a hole and be like, I fucked up Star Wars. And that's pretty sad to know that the internet can hate you that hard. Back to Sunnier Skies. I like them because more of the story started to happen into what I loved. Less pressure versus the new ones where I was like, oh, fuck. They're going to fuck this up. And that with the soft reboot with J.J. Abrams, so great because it's a nod to 4, right? Like it's the whole story all over again where it's like we're ramping back up. We're going back into the characters we love. We're getting to know everybody. You see Chewie.
It's funny that you
We're
like
home.
doesn't Attack of the Clones have the worst Rotten Tomatoes score out
It
of
does.
any Star Wars
It totally
movie?
does. But like, I just love the banter between Anakin and Obi-Wan. I love how the training is starting. Right? I mean, it really gets good in the one I can never remember. What's the third one?
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. When like they start off in that intergalactic battle in their little pods. And like they're just shooting the shit with each other, and then Anakin just jumps out and like, oh, he's a Jedi, he can breathe in space, no big deal, right? Like the same shit they tried to pull with Leia.
He doesn't technically jump out in space. He's in the hangar. There's already ray shields up, so there's oxygen in the room, so he's good.
Thank you.
You are nerded.
I've been outward, ladies and gentlemen.
Star Wars nerded.
Hey, out of everybody here, Star Wars credit goes to Martin the most.
Oh,
easily.
For sure.
Easily. I learned more from him than it's way more fun to learn from him because he just tells you like that than it is to like go and Google it.
Actually,
let me tell you one thing, sir. There were blaster
Let me use my extra nasally voice.
Let me put my second pocket protector on.
So prequels before sequels, and just too much hard turn from Force Awakens to Last Jedi, like too much creative change.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I love Rian Johnson with the Brothers Bloom. I love Rian Johnson with Looper. I love Rian Johnson with Brick.
Mm-hmm.
These are the Rian
But
Johnson.
he almost ruined Star Wars.
So
like the level of slapstick in that movie is so bad. But I liked 7 and 9 from a nostalgia standpoint so much that it overshadows 8.
It does. J.J. Abrams picked up the mantle and was like, First of all, I'm going to club you over the head with
Yeah,
a Johnson.
he was like, what the fuck, dude? We were supposed to you were supposed to carry on the awesomeness, and you almost fucked it up.
You were supposed to do Empire again. What the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
Right? It worked the first time. Be like Empire. Like it's the most applauded one of the first three. I think Empire. The story just.
Empire Strikes Back is still probably my second favorite movie of all time.
True Star.
It's up there for me too.
Yeah, easily.
It's top 3 all the time.
Easily.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the
Top
guy?
2 for me.
What's number 1?
It's hard. Probably Godfather Part 2.
Oh wow! Oh nice.
That's where Michael goes dark.
I like it.
Yep.
It. I think mine's True Romance.
That's also a good one.
The Tarantino
Good old
cut.
Christian Slater and Dennis Hopper.
Any cut.
Any cut. All right. Martin, what about you?
Sonny
Prequels.
Chiba cut.
Prequels over sequels. Which one is it?
I'll start by saying this: Episode 8 and 9 are the movies that I've seen the least out of all the Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
I think I'm definitely an original trilogy. First episodes 1, 2, and 3. Not that I didn't enjoy parts of the sequels. Like I did, like you guys all said, I did enjoy Episode 7. I thought it was great. It was off to the right start. Han Solo's in it. Lots of cool stuff.
Keep going. I'm gonna get something to drink.
Every like the sequels had some cool points. Like the fight scenes were cool. Like I mean the fight scene with Kylo Ren and all the Emperor's guards was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then
Matt the radar technician. He's
Matt the
fucking
radar
awesome.
technician. You got some good stuff out of the sequels. I'll say that. Like I don't hate them, but I if I'm gonna pick, it's got to be the original trilogy. Not the original. Sorry, the original 1, 2, and 3.
The prequels.
Sequels. The prequel sequels. Just because. One thing too is just because you're still getting George Lucas's stories from that one,
Mm-hmm.
where in his with the new series, it's not Lucas telling the story anymore. It's something else. Like we don't get to hear his version of what would have happened.
Well, I mean,
after they blew up the second Death
he
Star.
consulted.
Mm-hmm. He did consult. And also too, one thing that the original 1, 2, and 3 does really well is they have, I think, some of the best music in the Star Wars universe. Like Duel of the Fates is one of the most epic themes ever.
Absolutely.
Across the stars, the love theme between Anakin and Padme, one of the best composed pieces of music in the Star Wars universe as well. And you know what? I liked seeing the descent, like Michael said, I like seeing the descent of Anakin into the dark side as you see him, because you get to see how he becomes Darth Vader, which is pretty cool. And also too, I'll say this about the original, like the episodes 1, 2, and 3. You get the cool Anakin Skywalker memes. Like there's so many Anakin Skywalker memes of him killing kids. It's just hilarious.
I know I've shared several of those on our WhatsApp chat. You know what? The more we're talking about this, you're making me remember more. Also, you got fucking Yoda, fucking like lightsaber battles. You got Mace Windu.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I don't know. For me, it's still still that emotional thing. I don't know, nostalgia.
The one thing I didn't like about, I guess, episodes 8 and 9 is they didn't focus on the characters that I wanted them to focus on. One thing that Star Wars has always done consistently is there's always a trio of characters. In 1, 2, and 3, it was Obi-Wan, Padme, and Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
In 4, 5, and 6, it was Luke, Han, and Leia. And then it's supposed to be in the other one, 7, 8, and 9. It's supposed to be Poe Dameron, Rey, and Finn. But they don't, like, the last 2 movies didn't really focus on them together as a unit. I think.
Can I explain? I'll explain why after what I think.
Yeah, I just didn't like that. I wanted to see more of them interacting with each other on screen time, because that's the relationships that I like from all the other episodes of, from all the original trilogies and all the sequels, prequels. Sorry, that's what I like seeing is their interaction. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good point, because the sequels, it's almost like it's more about a dichotomy between Rey and Kylo. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's almost what they're pushing more. But you know the reason why Finn's character disappears in episode 8?
Why?
Because of the CCP.
The what? What's the CCP?
So China is the single biggest TV market in the world.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
And they for whatever reason they don't like Finn's character. If you look at the movie poster for episode 7, he is very, very big on the worldwide release poster, but on the poster for China, he's tiny.
That's wrong.
Interesting, right?
Is that fact?
Yeah,
You know what? I know why they didn't like Finn, because Finn is the kind of person who would sow dissent amongst the people and turn
Well, he
on
was.
their
He decided against the order.
his character is inspiring. His character is life-changing. He goes through questioning himself.
I think that's part of it, but I also think there's a racist element there too. But that's, regardless. But I seriously wonder if Disney succumbed to some pressure from a political standpoint. From we won't release this movie as widely or in China, or will require way more cutting and censorship of the set movie for you to actually air it in a super profitable market.
Yeah, I heard about that. What was something just happened where they totally screwed them in China. So a movie was just out where it
was it Once Upon a Time, where they just cut up an entire Bruce Lee thing?
Monster Hunter.
That was one of them. No, I can't remember which one it was. I'll find it.
Definitely wasn't a movie about Tibet. They don't make movies about Tibet anymore.
So no. It took 7
Good old
years.
Brad Pitt.
What was the what's the character's name in episode 8? The one that everyone hated.
Oh, Rose.
Yeah.
I felt bad for her, but I didn't
like her character.
For her character.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
I just thought they could have put Poe in her place instead. You know what I mean? And just not put a new character, not introduce a new character. Because what I wanted to see in that episode was more Poe Dameron. I wanted more Poe. I wanted more Oscar Isaac throughout the entire series.
And Finn's character becomes almost tertiary in episode 8. Like he's not even a secondary character
cyborged.
like Chewbacca. He's like less than R2.
Yeah. I mean he had words with Disney about that, and rightly so, because you can see, like, you just chop, like, it's not even like a soft edit out. It's just like, nope, we can't make money, so we're gonna fuck you. And that's totally wrong. So Martin, it sounds like you. Sorry, I went to go get my Tang.
He's prequels all day, baby.
Prequels all day.
Always. 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3. So we got a 3-way, nice big old fucking male 3-way of. Prequels.
No, I said sequels.
Oh, you said sequels. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Because I'm listening to everything.
Yeah.
So did we change your mind, or are you still a sequels thing, Rob?
You know what? Honestly, after listening to you guys, because I went first and you guys kind of went second, and it's funny because as you were talking about them, it's bringing back all this stuff, and I think part of it is that I haven't watched the prequels in a long time. I watch the original trilogy on a pretty regular basis. Like I'll rewatch all 3 movies
before tonight.
No, probably every. I'll probably watch at least 2 of the 3 every 4 to 6 months. Right. I'm the same way. Like I'll watch Back to the Future and Indiana Jones with that same kind of frequency as well. But honestly, I haven't seen the prequels in a long time, so maybe I need to rewatch them to kind of respur this. But I don't know. Like maybe I didn't even really like the sequels that much. I just liked episode 7.
I did like episode. Like I said, episode 7 was great. I loved episode 7. I thought it was good. It was just more Star Wars. But that, like you said, that's what the world needed. Just more Star Wars, because we got something different in episodes 1, 2, and 3.
But more Star Wars done by the right person in a helmet, which was J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. The fanboy. I think fanboy versus
fanboy that has Spielberg's eye.
Yeah. Well, and Spielberg's blessing too.
That's what I'm talking about. But like he can craft. First of all, he fucking saved Star Trek. So why not let him fucking save Star Wars too?
He's got the Midas touch.
Totally.
I would love to continue on, because this is
except for Lost kind of went crazy and you're near the end. But I blame the writer's strike.
Thank you. I was just gonna say, I'm like, there's
the writer's strike also ruined Heroes, which that show would have been fucking awesome.
The writer's strike of 07. Oh my god, yeah. Was it 07? It was
07, 08.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah. I totally give, like, you're cruising along, you're writing some shit, it's really flowing, and then all of a sudden, the
studios, it's not even the writer's strike's fault, it's the studio's fault for allowing that to happen.
Yeah, for not negotiating decent fucking contracts.
It's maybe we should pay the people that are creating fucking gold and making everyone rich.
Yeah, the reason you can charge all the money for your ads is because they write great fucking content. So,
I'm sorry, should we just get second-rate writers or AI to do this?
Right?
No,
don't put it into a machine. We already have one
Elon Musk
company.
will disagree. He'll be like, AI can write superior scripts.
Okay, so
buy Dogcoin.
This one comes from the fact that there was Rob, how much do you know about Mandalorian season 2? Do you know who comes back? Like, are you?
No.
You have no idea.
I have no idea.
Like you really have no
I
idea.
have no clue, and I've done a very good job of avoiding.
We can skip that question because I don't want to spoil it for Rob.
Please don't spoil it for me, and I apologize. I'm sorry I have not had time to watch it. I have a wife that hates Star Wars.
Oh.
So it makes it tricky to watch stuff.
It is. You got to fit that shit in. No, I get it.
Just put it on your phone in the bathroom.
I know, but I'm busy watching The Expanse.
The Expanse is...
Oh, are you caught up in The Expanse?
I'm almost at I'm done episodes 1, 2, and 3. So I'm on seasons 1, 2, 3. So I'm 4 now.
Okay, it's good.
All right.
I finished it. So
okay.
Anyways,
I got it. Okay.
Next one.
So we'll go to ship. We all love the X-Wing. We all love the Falcon. We all love Slave One, right? Like these are the...
Or do you want to do Mando versus Boba?
Well, no. My Mando versus Boba... Okay, we could still do it because you know what? Yeah, no.
You could still do it.
We could, yeah. I was just
Let's
thinking
just talk about why we think which one's more badass.
Well, what I'm saying is in a real-life situation, to stay with the cheesy slogan, who would you rather be trained by? Would you rather be trained in the art of bounty hunting by Mando, by the Mandalorian, or by Boba Fett based on what you've seen? Martin, go.
I gotta do Boba Fett because, Mando kind of seems like a religious fanatic and I have to wear my fucking helmet all the time. Like, I don't want to do that. Who wants to do that? How smelly would it be in there? Like, I got long hair, man. Like, I gotta take that off and air out once in a while. It's gotta be Boba Fett. Boba Fett's just cooler. He's not as like Mando is. Like I said, he's a fanatic, and I think he'd make me want to join his cult, which I don't want to do. Not just that he's not a badass and he's a good fighter. Boba Fett's a bounty hunter. He catches criminals. I mean,
even though he dies in a slapstick way at the end.
Yeah, he does die at the end.
Right off the side
but
of
if you read the bounty, was the one you read, Rob, the Bounty Hunter Chronicles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in the Bounty Hunter Chronicles what happens to him, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah,
What are we
Bounty
spoiling?
Hunter
Something that's
Chronicles
12 years old here? Come on, what happens in it?
It's the book's more like 25 years old.
Okay, all right. What happens in it? I'm not going to read it. I don't care about anybody
basically
else.
describes like him going through the digestive tract, right?
The
Sarlacc pit. Yeah.
That's
pit.
okay. So I know about that. That's where that comes from.
Yeah.
I heard about that was canon somewhere, but I didn't know what it was. Oh, that's cool because so
it's been a long time since I read it, so I don't remember all the details. But
doesn't he use his jetpack to burn his way out?
He does. Yes,
that's part of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So I mean, he is incredibly badass. It's just again, that's one of those things that George Lucas did in the original trilogy, where you're just like, really, dude, like. You don't have to add like a Buster Keaton fucking esqueness to this. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like when Finn runs out with all the tubes in him in fucking episode 8, and you're just like, "Fuck you, Ryan Johnson!" Like that does not need to be there.
Or curmudgeony old Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, like
angry next like Gran Torino Skywalker.
Yeah, totally. Like he's screaming at a chair on a stage.
Right.
It just goes to show you how powerful Jedi were. Because if you could eliminate someone as easily as Boba Fett, Luke just owned Boba Fett. Like there was no competition there, and Jedi were just so powerful. And this is why the Mandalorians lost the war against the Jedi in the Old Republic. Like they just got creamed.
And they are expert fucking warriors and fighters and tacticians and all that kind of stuff.
Like if there weren't Jedi, Mandalorian would probably rule the galaxy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
so for me, it would be Boba as well. I also absolutely. I also have an affinity for Boba Fett because there's only one Star Wars toy that I still have from my childhood, and that is a Boba Fett action figure.
We're gonna get to that in a minute because I'm glad you have that.
And you know what? The religious fanatic thing, you bring up something good there too. But I don't know. I just feel like the Mando is super cool, but there's something about Boba Fett. He is just next level cool, and the fact that he's Jango's son is just, I don't know.
I'm Mando.
That's cool.
I want the fresh new kid on the block. And it stems from looking at great, right? Like yes, he does get that comical like.
He's never been to Cloud
take
City,
of a death. I know. Well, I know he's never been.
We don't know that.
I mean, yeah.
He could have got some gas there one time,
Totally. Passing through. Hey, I was low in the tank.
Hey, here's Vespin.
It was Cloud City. Lando. I look at it aside from, I think Mandalorian has obviously he has more of a heart We were never really given a chance to learn more about Boba Fett as a character, right? Like he's stoic. I'm going to kill you, right? Like one sentence kind of guy. Always assumed to be very dangerous.
That's because he's he's a little damaged.
Well, he's got daddy issues. I get it. But
saw his dad get decapitated. I mean, he saw his dad straight up get his head chopped off. That's gonna fuck up any child.
That's gonna do something to you.
And then he was rejected by another million of his daddies.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, the repeats. What is that? A repetitive stress injury? No, I want Mandalorian. Mostly because we've seen he has a heart, so I think he'd be more willing to put up with my shit. Like I feel I'm not that much better than a Baby Yoda. Sans powers. Okay, I'm not assuming that I'm a lateral.
Was your favorite character in Captain Planet Heart? Anyway,
no, it was my favorite Care Bear was Lionheart.
I was talking about Captain Planet.
I know. I don't know why I
cartoons.
That's a cut.
Care Bear.
If it makes you feel any better, I like Grumpy Bear.
Thank you.
That was my favorite Care Bear.
Now I'm not the only person talking about their favorite Care Bear anymore. You didn't leave me hanging, buddy.
All right, so go back to Mando.
He's got a heart. He's got patience. He's got understanding. He put up with Grogu eating knobs and buttons and shit.
But do you think that he would be able to teach you skills, tactics better than Boba?
I think yes, I do.
And tracking.
I do.
And bounty hunterness.
He's doing all those same things in the Razor Crest. But I'm getting at the technology that Mando has access to.
But he doesn't have Slave One.
It doesn't need Slave One. He's got Razor Crest. Like it's still a clunky, weird looking, fun ship. But I like what's his thing, Martin, where he launches like 17 missiles at the same time.
Oh, the singing birds, songbirds,
songbirds or something like that.
Unfair advantage. That's what that's called.
Or like I love the fact that he's got the pitchfork, right? Like I love them. I'll have more access to more modern fighting techniques under Mandalorian versus an old has-been like Boba Fett.
They're around the same age, right?
Are they?
Yeah, because Mandalorian got picked up by Mando got picked by the Mandalorians around the same time when the Clone Wars ended, like around that time. So Boba Fett and him are pretty much the same age. Maybe Boba Fett's a bit older, but they're around the same age.
Okay.
Well, Boba Fett's so badass. He went into a Sarlacc pit and survived that shit, dude.
I'm not saying that there's not something to be said for persistence. Like that takes he had to take over the mind of that Sarlacc and convince like bait and switch it.
Does Mando have a cool jetpack?
No.
You can't say it. You can't say anything because he has to watch this. He has to watch it.
Maybe. I don't.
Yes.
I'm
excited to watch. Yeah.
You need to get on this shit, man, because once you clearly have no idea what happened in any of it.
None.
None.
We can't spoil it.
None.
Oh my God!
I have done such a good job of avoiding.
You're like a sniper. Like,
thank you.
You can't. You're just soft and
impressive.
I don't know. That's so impressive.
I know you're impressed, aren't you? You're not even mad. You're impressed.
I had that lightsaber in my hand, crying like a 9-year-old in the end of it. That's how good it is. It is one of the best projects in television history when it comes to sci-fi bullshit.
Better than Who Killed JR?
Oh, yeah, way better. Because
I'm
whatever.
Kidding. I'm kidding.
Fucking,
I'm kidding. No one gives a fuck about Dallas.
I had to watch Dallas as a kid. I know it was all a dream, Bobby. Yeah, Mando because of tech. Mando because of he just has more suave to him.
Do you think he's more cool? He's cooler.
He's cooler. He's not as reserved. I like to know my character. I like to know what they're saying with
but
what
do you
very
think it's
little
also
they're saying.
Can I challenge you on that though?
Yeah.
Is the fact that we never had a Boba Fett show. We have a Mando show.
Mm-hmm.
So we're only pulling from the snippets that we get of Boba Fett in 2 movies. And Barton and I are so impressed with 17 minutes of total screen time versus 17 hours.
Yeah, it doesn't like low-hanging fruit, I get it.
Mike likes shiny. He likes shiny.
I have champagne taste, motherfuckers.
Jin has some shiny new armor, and Mike's like, I like that.
I like it. Exactly.
He's like, oh, I like the Gucci of Mando. The Gucci of Mandalorian armor.
What is it? Old and busted and new hotness.
Tom Ford. He's wearing a Tom Ford piece of armor right there.
Exactly. Give me some of that Ford Fall collection.
I get where you're coming from. I get, you know what? I respect your decision, even though it's wrong.
Yeah,
And,
I reject your reality, even though you're trying to put it into mine. But yeah, so neither of you. Can I sway either of you? No, yes.
So Team Boba.
Boba Fett has a place in my heart.
Or as in the chat group, I refer to him as Team Bubba Gump Shrimp. Martin's just like.
So just gonna say too. Also, another reason why you should watch Clone Wars. There may or may not be some Boba Fett in there.
Okay, all right.
Oh! I just went from 6 to 12.
Well, and the thing that me and Martin know that you don't know, you made a huge statement in your last little part there, and it's so I know that I'm having a problem not saying it, so I'm just gonna move on to the next.
What was the issue? The issue.
It's just you said something that when you watch the show,
I'm just gonna be like, oh shit.
You're gonna eat your words so badly.
Okay.
But you don't know. Like,
that's cool.
It's not a bad thing. But you're gonna be like, oh, now you're gonna come back to this moment and be like, yeah, if I'd only known.
You know what though? I usually always feel like I need to be right, but I am willing to humble myself right now and accept that I will eat my words.
You really don't even know what's happening.
I have no clue.
Just move on, Mike. Just move on.
I have no
if we
clue.
keep talking about it, I'm gonna say something, and we can't. I don't want to ruin it for Rob.
Fair enough.
You know what? I'm at the opposite end. I don't think your vote will get swayed.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I don't think it will.
We'll come back to this. So now Rob has to watch it. Now we're going to text Rob every day to be like, "Do you watch it? Do you watch it? Do you watch it? Do you watch it?" All right, moving on.
Block off 10 hours of your life.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, because I have an extra 10 hours.
Yeah, no. Come over here. I'll go to work. You give me my keys. And just fucking whatever. So
I only watch on Samsung TVs.
Come to BC. I have a Samsung.
On my way, Danbo Ramen.
What is your most prized piece of Star Wars geekdom that you have lying around? And is there an anecdote or a story attached to it? I'll go first. And it's obvious. I mean, I do have the Bounty Hunter code from Martin. That's one of my favorite pieces. He bought me that for my birthday one year. He's doing the 6 to 12. He's where are you right
6
now?
6 to 12?
Oh yeah, and then what? There's also
lightsaber.
There's also my my tiki cup, my Yoda tiki cup, which is pretty fucking great. This thing over here that nobody can see, maybe I'll remember to take a picture of the shit, is my R2-D2 droid that you can control with your phone.
Oh, I thought that was a fleshlight.
No. Like you take the and no.
Oh no, you gave flashlight ideas an R2-D2 flashlight.
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
this is not the droid I'd be looking for. Not this one, man. And I also have the other book in the series. So Martin bought me the Jedi Code because he knew I had, he bought me the Bounty Hunter Code because he knew I had the Jedi Code, which is that box that when you press the button it opens up and makes noise and shit. But besides all those fucking doodads, my miniature Grogu and 3D printed Mando and Grogu up there is the lightsaber. It's obviously the fucking lightsaber, which if you go to our Instagram, ladies and gentlemen, and go way back, way down to like November 2019, there's a picture of the lightsaber and all the shit I did. I was all over.
I remember November 2019 when we could
do
hug
shit.
people
Yeah.
and say hi to people.
I know.
It was awesome.
Can I just say that when borders open up in the States, I'm going to Disneyland or Disney World and going to Star Wars World because the new lightsaber they're coming out with extends when you press the button and lights up at the same time.
What?
Yeah. That lightsaber is only good for a year and a half before that fucking thing comes out. And then like it's their Disney prototyped it years ago and also trademarked it. There's a patent and a trademark on it at the patent office, and it just says extendable proton saber.
Cool.
So you have like no real idea what that means, but me and Martin we posted the clip of it.
When do you think real lightsabers are going to be available?
They already have like a proto saber out already, like a prototype, like a plasma thing, but it's like a huge, like it is basically a proto saber. So proto sabers were before lightsabers, but they had to wear huge power packs.
Yeah. There's a guy in Ontario that made that,
but
right?
a guy already made one.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like self-contained in the thing. My prediction is 2041.
Okay. Self-driving cars.
2041. What is that? Is that Blade Runner or something? 2049.
They say 2041 is when the singularity is supposed to occur.
We're
Oh, okay. That's what I that date made significant. Like it had something in my head that significance in my head for some reason.
Yeah, it's the lightsaber. Only because of the experience. Like if I wouldn't buy that off the shelf.
Because you got to customize it and choose all the little intricacies.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. Like you get a
It was
card.
kind of like it's kind of like when you go to the Make a Teddy Bear store.
It's
but
100% Build-A-Bear for adults.
Yeah.
100.
You build a bear. That's what it is.
It's build your own lightsaber and then have fun getting it on a plane in Florida.
I need space in the
Not
overhead.
the one that extends now. That'll be easy to carry around.
Yeah, just put that in your pants and be like, that's my lightsaber. Don't worry about it.
That's my dick.
That's my dick.
And I'd like a pat down, please.
Big dick boy. Big dick boy.
It also glows in the dark.
It does. And it broke within like 8 hours of having it. That was the funnest thing. And we were like, I called and the lady was like, just come back. And when you get to the front, just say you're here to come right to
How did it
customer
break?
service. I found out that the batteries drain very quickly, and I just left it on while we were at the park.
Okay.
So it just drained itself out, and the guy's like, yeah, it's just batteries. They suck a lot of battery juice. But it was the experience that
What kind
was...
of batteries does it take?
3 AA's?
Oh, that's not bad. As long
That's
as
not that bad.
As long as it doesn't take D cells.
No, but for
that cost
some-
you a fucking small fortune.
For some reason, it was baptized in Jedi blood because even when it's turned off, it still sucks battery juice. Like, and it will
Just take
make
the batteries out.
Well, I do. That's what I do. But like, it's not like
Is it Jedi blood or is it Sith blood?
I didn't ask. It was too expensive. I just paid my bill and
interesting.
left. But yeah, you get a card and then you put it all together and
I want one so bad.
You're with like 12 other 12
Can you
year olds.
only buy them there? Like you can't like order these online?
I think you can now. I think they're like, it's ridiculous not to sell them. You can go to like a lightsaber.com site and customize your own right now for like
But I think the
$200.
thing is the experience of actually crafting your lightsaber and going through what Padawans go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be
The cool
awesome
thing about it, right?
It'll be awesome when you get to go down to Florida, catch COVID, make your own lightsaber, and see Disney World.
Sorry, Clone Wars. They do a lot of the another thing selling point about Clone Wars. They do a lot more of the history and the background and the workings of the Jedi Order. So you may or may not see some Padawans make some lightsabers.
I love the bring back to everything is about Bad Batch and Clone Wars. Like it's the perfect through line. So the sword is my.
I'm still not sold on watching Clone Wars. Tell me more, Martin.
Martin,
We have 8 hours.
what is your Star Wars piece of treasure, Martin?
Mine is like Rob. I also have an original Boba Fett figure.
Really?
But I was a child when I got it, so I definitely took it out of the box. It's missing its gun. Still has its jetpack though. But
Mine too.
the reason why this is so special to me is because as a kid I loved Star Wars, and Christmas all I wanted was Star Wars toys, so I got them all. And then when we moved from California to Canada, my mom sold most of my Star Wars figurines in a garage sale for 25 cents each, which are now worth, I don't know how much they're worth now, even out of the box. They're still probably worth $50 each, but they were all sold. Like I had Luke, I had Han, I had Leia, I had Luke in his pilot suit, Luke in the black Return of the Jedi outfit, Darth Vader, all gone.
Let's have a moment of silence for Martin's mom.
25 cents.
Let's just
25,
reflect
and my
on that.
Transformers, my original Transformers toy, she sold for 25 cents as well.
That's heartbreaking, dude.
Your mom's not a good salesperson.
She has no idea the value in a good Luke Skywalker.
She doesn't understand resale value.
No, she doesn't understand nostalgia
No.
either.
Do you guys remember
apparently.
those little micro machine, the Polly Pocket little kind of miniature figurines of Star Wars? Like they had the Hoth one, and you had little Luke and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and Han Solo.
Yeah,
and
I remember
little
those,
Tauntauns.
yeah.
I had those.
Somebody was
All
selling
done.
the Death Star one on Marketplace the other day. I almost considered making an offer.
Oh, you should have told me. I would have bought it.
I
Should have made him an offer he can't refuse,
Yeah,
Mike.
why didn't you post that shit on fucking our chat?
That's
That's
you
the
know
kind
what?
of thing you need to share.
That's the new garage sailing. Is Sunday morning, plan your route, pick up all your shit, buy your stuff on
I
Marketplace.
can't wait to. I have so much stuff
Oh,
to
I
sell on
know
my
you
yard
do.
sale. Fuck,
I
it's
can't
gonna
wait
be-
to come to your
It's gonna
yard
be
sale.
fucking epic this year.
Rob, what about your Boba Fett
So,
action figure? Action figure.
strangely, my story is almost identical to Martin. So
You're both missing your
I
gun?
too had mine is the original figurine. It is out of the box. I'm missing the gun. It does have the jetpack. It's a little bit worn because it was actually played with. My mother also
That's what she
sold
said.
all my Star Wars toys as well. I had Luke and Vader and Solo and all that kind of stuff. I had the Millennium Falcon.
Barbara Strachan, what the fuck?
I had Jabba. I had a whole bunch of stuff, right? And and that's like the last kind of piece. The other thing is I have a Stormtrooper coffee mug that I religiously drink coffee almost every single day in. And I have a thing where each year Michelle allows me to buy one more Star Wars ornament for the Christmas tree. And I've been doing that now since we met, so I've got about 5 different ones now.
I would just like to set up a Star Wars tree with ornaments all year long.
Yeah.
Rob, I gotta say, so since both of our moms sold all our Star Wars toys, is that what it sounds like when doves cry?
It is. I even had like a. Do you guys remember that there was that Darth Vader case that all like the figurines fit into and it flipped open?
Yeah,
I had that, and now I don't.
Yeah, my mom. I have one tub left of like an assortment, like a Royal Fork buffet, if you will.
Is there like a He-Man in there and like one My Little Pony for some weird reason, and
Yeah.
a couple stars?
Oh yeah, and like a bike. You know what's in there? Fuck, we should.
Bronies?
No. Do you guys remember Biker Mice from Mars?
Yes, I do.
Oh yeah.
I have a biker mouse and his bike in there.
That's cool.
I think I've got a RoboCop.
Do you have He-Man and Cringer?
I think I've got somebody.
See, it should actually be He-Man and Battle Cat, and it should be Prince Adam and Cringer. You didn't catch that.
There's
Some G.I. Joe.
Oh yes, but like some like branch off line of GI Joe.
But it's like
in
Cobra
there.
Commander, but not when he had the cool metal face. When he has like the stupid cloth like thing.
Yeah,
It basically looks like he's got like a marble bag over his head.
like a babushka.
Like-
Like he dumped out somebody's jacks and put the bag over his head.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have Ninja Turtles in there?
Yeah, I do. Like
Do you have
everything's in
Krang?
there. I have
Shredder.
No,
Where's my body, Shredder?
Who was the guy who was the fly? That wasn't Krang. Who was the fly guy?
There was a fly guy. I know which character you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I don't remember his name, but he's just a.
Yeah,
Wasn't he just called the Fly?
He was like a scientist that turned into like a half fly, half man.
Okay, one day we should just put it in here and play a game one day where we pull out 4 toys and we have to cast a movie with
Yes!
those 4 toys. Okay.
Is Leatherface in there?
Oh, that'd be
Like-
fun.
Right? So we'll do this. This will
Yes,
happen.
Yes.
So and then we'll debate. Okay, here's what we'll do. We will argue.
We'll
who-
get Ian to shoot it
Yeah.
with 8mm camera.
So what's
So it's
the
all single take.
what's the genre? What's who's the director?
Okay.
Who's cast?
Yeah, I like
what's
it.
the story? We're gonna do this whole thing and we're gonna argue out of like we're just gonna shake up 4 directors and then we're gonna argue which director we should think should fucking direct it. And then by the end of it,
That's a good idea.
we'll have a piece.
And we'll call the segment Tickle Trunk.
Yes. 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 I love lightning in a bottle. I just want to stop and fucking start making this right fucking now. Okay, focus. Star Wars, geekdom. You had you
Sith versus Jedi?
no, we're not doing that. No, I told you we're not doing that. I got a better one. All right. So, there's a toss up here. Do we want
Jedi versus Sith?
No, shut. I don't want to talk about politics. Do you want to do
Counselor Palpatine versus Emperor Palpatine?
Chancellor, not counselor. He's just like a school counselor. So
I-
dark.
Sorry,
How
my
are you
bad.
doing today?
You know what I meant. You know what I meant.
My vote is for what's your customized stormtrooper outfit. There's also another option, which is put a spotlight on some of the ships that don't get enough attention beyond.
I like ships.
I
You
like
want
the
ships?
ships, too.
Ships?
I like
Okay.
ships.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
that's democracy there, ladies and gentlemen. I have been outvoted. So, outside of your traditional X-wing, Falcon,
Are we allowed to
Slave
talk
One,
about Rebel Alliance and
you are
Empire?
allowed. It's canon, motherfucker.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring up my list that I had here, but you can go first, Rob.
Oh man, you're putting me under the gun here. I haven't really thought about this. I feel like I'm a huge fan of Darth Vader's TIE Fighter specifically.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I maybe it was because I really like the video game TIE Fighter, and I always liked
Yeah.
and you get to unlock his, and it's just got that cooler, sleeker kind of feel and stuff like that. I I also feel like the Y-wing doesn't get enough love.
I gotta look at that.
It's a
one
classic
up again.
Republic bomber.
That's right. I'm also a big fan of the the Imperial shuttle and how like the wings fold up, like when it descends and stuff, like, and then it comes back down.
It's got that. Yeah, it takes on two different shapes. It becomes the triangle.
Yeah.
In that's the one in Return when they're trying to get on Endor, right?
Can I ask you guys all a quick question?
Yeah.
Which 3 movies do you prefer the ships? Prequels, original, or sequels?
Original.
Originals, me too.
Originals.
I don't know what it is about the ships in the prequels. They're too flashy. It's kind of like,
Too shiny.
I feel like everything is like the Palace of Versailles. Every ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're very. Yeah.
Like, why is there so much gold?
They had government funding. All those ships had government funding. The rebels had no funding. They were low budget.
But even the
guerrilla
Empire,
warriors.
and the Empire was just efficient. They were like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna make it this way."
Like it looks like every ship was made for David and Victoria Beckham. Like it's just fucking.
It's all blinged. It's like everything's fucking bedazzled. Man.
Did he make
It's
these?
like everything was made for like a fucking like a sultan of fucking Abu Dhabi or some shit.
Sultan of Brunei.
Yeah.
I always want to. You mentioned the Y-wing. I always looked at the Y-wing as like the Cadillac, right? Like if you were in a Y-wing, you'd just be like leaning.
The Buick of the Star Wars universe.
The Buick of the like it just reminds
Like
me
the
of that.
Cadillac or the lowrider.
Well, like yeah, like a fucking lowrider for sure. Because when me and Martin have played Battlefront, when you get in the Y-wing,
Yeah.
motherfucker, you are not. You are wide turning. You are going around like 4 blocks to get back to where you want to get to. So it does not handle well. But it was one of the first like splinter ships, right? Like it from the brand when you got to see the first battle in New Hope. That's when all these other ships came in instead of just Y-wings and X-wings. But Martin, what about you? Where do your what are some other ships that nobody likes to pay any attention to? Let's give them some spotlight.
So I just want to say, Y-wings also in Clone Wars.
Oh, in Clone Wars. It's in Clone Wars. Ladies and gentlemen, that's in Clone Wars.
If you like Y-wings, Clone Wars is good too. Also Rebels. What was the ship you said? The TIE fighters you like, Rob?
I liked Vader's TIE Fighter.
Vader's? Okay, yeah, that was good. I like the TIE Defender too. TIE Defender was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the TIE
Fighter.
Defender.
It's got like the 3 wings.
Yeah.
Also in Star Wars Rebels.
What about the TIE Bomber?
I think one of my favorite ships, though, it's probably I don't it's known, but it's not as known. It's not in it's not featured in any of the movies, and except for a couple short cameos. But I'm gonna say the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels. It's basically here. I'll just tell you what it is. It's like a freighter. It's kind of like a Millennium Falcon, but the one thing that the Ghost can do really well is that it can hide its transponder signal, so you won't know it's the Ghost. It can pretend to be another ship, so that when it's doing smuggling runs, it never gets detected as the Ghost. It's always detected as Imperial freighters.
It can cloak essentially as somebody else.
Oh,
Basically,
this is a
it can
cool
cloak
looking
itself.
ship. It's kind of like that awesome ship from Deep Space Nine.
I like its front end. Like it's got like a blunt nose like a pug.
Yeah, it's a cool ship. I like it. That's one of my favorites in it. And also too, if you look in Rogue One and in Episode 9, you can see the Ghost in there as well. It does a short appearance in both of those movies. So it's still a prominent ship, but not not in the forefront of everything.
The one that Rob was mentioning that he likes folds is the Lambda class Imperial shuttle. That's the one that Palpatine gets off, and that's the one Vader gets off, and it folds into the nice tiny little triangle. I really dug.
It's the one they also stole to sneak in.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's the one they use. I like the
Shuttle Tiberian.
Shuttle Tiberian. Yeah. Do you read me? Where is it? The MG-100 Star Fortress bomber from Last Jedi, when they're like slowly going off over that. What's the new ship? Not the Imperial Star, the big one, like
The Executioner.
Oh, from the second. I don't remember.
the Executioner. Or
I
something,
can't remember what
right?
it's called, but
Or
that was from the second movie, right?
Yeah, it was from Last Jedi.
The very beginning.
Oh, I can't remember.
It's right
the
when we
name of
meet Rose and
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
when they do that last.
No,
bombing.
the Executioner is the Super Star Destroyer
like
from Empire.
Yeah, Yeah. Okay.
It's the capital ship killer, though, right? Is that what it
Yes,
is, Mike? It
that's-
kills
yeah.
like capital ships.
Yes.
That big ship that you're talking about.
That's the one. Yeah, and they're doing that bombing run, and every bomber gets like taken out, and it's like slowly looming, but it's got that huge tower. I like a really good bomb run. I think
cool.
that's that, and it doesn't get enough respect because I mean, yeah, you want a ship that's going to get you from point A to point B really fast, maneuver on tight corners, and have blaster cannons that'll take any enemy out. At the same time, though, you need your tanks. You need your dogfighting in space is, I would imagine, very similar to fighting on land, right? You've got your air, you've got your sea, you've got your land, you've got your artillery on land, your armored, and your infantry. So your X-wings are your infantry, and your armored are your star bombers that I'm talking about. So, and it got a lot of play because like that shot, as soon as all those bombs drop, it just like cuts that giant fucking ship in half. And like the scene where she's like trying to get the remote down and she's kicking the fucking ladder and finally it drops and she can push the button. Yeah, that was a ship that I was like, okay, you have my attention. Like everything else is neat and shit, but that one had my.
I thought the Alderaan freighter from A New Hope would have been your pick.
The Alderaan freighter.
Ooh, what's his name? Antilles' ship. I forget what his name is. His first name though.
Yeah,
But,
like the ship that
it has a name,
Vader goes onto at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, like the little like weird. It looks
Carillion
like
Corvette.
Yeah, Carillion Corvette. It looks like a.
Well, the design is a Carillion Corvette. Yeah.
It looks like a Lego piece stuck, like just random Lego pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a neat. It looks like a piece of junk though. Like it looks like it would be caught in a junk
Well, it looks
barge.
junky because you got the fucking Star Destroyer coming just fucking right over top
Well,
of it.
yeah, anything. Okay, when you do anything with the Star Destroyer being in the background is going to dwarf anything. But it just looks like something I would step on that my nephew left behind after playing Lego. It's not menacing. It's not.
Well, it's not supposed to be menacing. It's supposed to be peaceful.
Well, but like
It's a diplomatic ship. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Use
Also
the
known as the
violence.
Rebel Blockade Runner.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, sweet.
Yeah, it's the Tartan 5 or 4. I think Tartan 4.
All right. I'm getting hungry. Did we get everybody? As soon as I get hungry, I get stupid.
I mean, can I also make a notable
yeah.
mention? I love the ATST. I don't know what it is.
Mm.
It's not an actual ship, but it's a vehicle, say.
Yeah, no, it's one of the funnest vehicles to play in. You should come over here sometime and play the game.
Did you ever play with the toy? It was almost it had that button that you push and the legs moved. It was almost like a dancing chicken.
No, I
Anyway.
had Billy Bass though.
Hmm.
Did anybody else have a Billy Bass?
No, what's
I'm asking. I'm getting hungry. I'm asking dumb questions. Stay on target. Stay on target. You want to do one more, or do you want to call it? I got one more in the tank. We could do the Stormtrooper armor.
Jedi versus Sith?
Did you have a Would You Rather?
No, I really didn't come up with. These were kind of flowing, and then I was like, until Charles hurt his back, I was like, he's gonna just throw some shit out of nowhere.
I
so
thought he
that would've-
lost a finger.
What?
Isn't that what you texted?
No, I said he fucked up. He got fucked up at work. He was carrying something and he fucked his back up.
Oh, I thought he got a finger chopped off.
No. Maybe if I type that, then I need to work on my typing.
I think he said he lost a finger in a couch.
Let me check the chat group.
Yeah, so I thought he actually lost a finger.
I said,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
and I
well, they
quote-
sewed that on pretty quick.
And I quote, Charles got fucked up at work. He lost a fight with a couch.
Oh, a fight with a couch. Oh, I don't know why I thought.
He lost a finger in the
Well,
couch.
apparently I don't know how to read.
He was finger banging a couch at work and fucked up his wrist.
It could happen.
Charles threw his back out. He was not finger banging any inanimate object, ladies and gentlemen. That was not. It's not happening. He's not here to.
He
defend
wasn't
himself.
using an R2D2 flashlight.
No, he was. It does not look like. Does it look like a flashlight?
No, but I just thought it would be funny because I know you'd get offended because it's a sacred object of yours,
It is,
and I spoiled it.
well, what it.
Like it looks like you could fuck it from the bottom.
Yeah,
you know?
totally. If
Everything-
you could turn it into a flashlight. Do you want me to order you the parts and we'll do like a we'll do like a video that we can post on a YouTube channel and people can watch us
Homemade
turn.
R2D2 flashlight.
Yeah, how to make an R2D2 flashlight.
Like-
We'll even let you choose the porn star that we ordered the flashlight from.
I'm okay with. Like none of that.
And on that note,
in the comment section, if you guys feel that we should turn Mike's prized R2D2 memorabilia into an R2D2 flashlight, please in the comment section vote yes.
And
buy a skateboard and we'll make it happen.
if that does end up happening, I will go out and buy the BB-8 that matches this, because when the two of them are in the room, they play off each other. So then it'll be BB-8.
Yeah, but you can't turn BB-8 into a fleshlight because that's like because he's like a kid droid.
Oh, dare I say this? Should we turn BB-8 into a vagina? And then make R2-D2?
No.
Just put the dildo on R2-D2
No,
and then
no.
No to your better, dirtier idea.
Yes. How about C-3PO?
Sure, that makes more sense because I think
C-3PO is like a real doll. You can make a C-3PO real doll.
I'm a real boy.
That'd be crazy. But I want C-3PO from the sequels because I need him to have a different colored arm.
I thought you wanted him to make it C-3PO without any of the plating.
Because then I can get a hand job from a silver arm or a gold arm.
And then it's two different people.
And then it's like two different people, exactly.
Or a red arm.
Or red, yeah.
It could be interchangeable.
Yeah. Well, at this point, I think Martin was right on that note. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another Real Debaters production, a special Real Debaters production. This is our May the 4th. This is our yearly. This is our Christmas. This is our happy day. This is where fun stuff happens, and we get to just specifically talk about Star Wars to death that hasn't already been discussed. So thank you for joining us and going along on that adventure. None of us have anything fun going on because we're all still in lockdown here in Winnipeg. So Martin, does that change for you? Do you have any comedy dates, or are you still waiting? No.
Nope.
Okay.
Still
all
the
right.
same.
No. Yeah, same here too. You're not allowed. That's fine. It's coming. We'll figure out a way to do it.
It's nothing but tears, ramen, and R2-D2 fleshlights.
That's what you have to name the episode now. Tears, ramen, and R2-D2 flashlights.
I don't think I have a choice. If this is your first time, thank you. As I've said this at the top of the show, I'm saying it again now. We all thank you, right? Rob, we thank them.
Of course we thank them.
Martin,
Thank you.
do we thank them?
We do.
This is what happens when I throw this shit at you guys last minute. So if you want to learn more about us, head to thereeldebaters.ca. That's where you can find.
Oh, thank you, San Jose.
Oh,
whoever's listening in San Jose, they've been listening. I've been looking at the analytics. San Jose is listening every week.
Anal in San Jose, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Martin Navarro. Yes, thank you to everybody. Like we start we at the top of the show. Thank you to everybody again. Thank you. These guys are here now, so they can say it on their behalf.
Thank you.
Realdebaters.ca. If you want to learn more about us, if you want to donate to the show, if you want to buy our merch, if you want to see our ugly faces, if you want to read some of the blogs, if you want to find out where to subscribe, everything is there. Thereeldebaters@gmail.com is how you can contact us. If you do buy a skateboard off that, like I've said in the past, send us a receipt, and then we'll be like, hey, you should make us argue about some dumb shit. Then we'll give you credit. Then you can dedicate it to your mom or something.
If they order said skateboard, won't we have their name and a record of their purchase already?
No, I won't. I don't get that information.
Oh.
Yeah. We are tag teaming with Threadless. So we have an online store. Threadless sees all that information. We don't know who buys from us. We just hope people buy from us.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So buy from us and
send us the screenshot.
Send us the screenshot of you buying it, and then
or fax us a copy of the receipt
to a fax machine that doesn't exist at 204. I don't have a fax machine.
999 faxo.
KL537186 Mr. Plow.
That name again is Mr. Plow. Dad, was that your commercial? I don't know.
I have been Qui-Gon Jinn in Vancouver. Who's out there?
Max Rebo and the Cantina House Band.
And out in Wolseley.
I am the Padawan with a much too deep voice. Caleb.
Watch all the movies, kids. We are gone.
All right, Jen.